Continuing with the La Excellence Yojana series of October 2022, we will see Chapter 8, that is Green Telecom. Ever since the start of industrialization in the 18th century, with steam power and mechanization of production, the air and water pollution has been rising on Earth, and the amount of greenhouse gases rising was giving effect to global warming. The various phenomena of global warming, along with natural calamities like typhoons, flash floods, melting of icebergs, etc., are collectively termed as climate change. The respective sectors like agriculture, industry, service sector, etc., have to take corrective steps in their area to mitigate the effects of climate change for a balanced ecological system. Telecom services are an integral part of our lives, connecting people and things by the means of calls, messages, and the internet. Telecom powers play a pivotal role in this process. The operation of these stars of telecommunication networks require electricity on a continuous basis for interruption free telecom services. The electricity comes from mainly the power grid. However, when there are power cuts, these stars electronics run on fossil fuels like diesel generator sets and battery backups, which results in GHG or greenhouse gases emissions. The increase in telecom towers due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there has been rapid growth in the mobile broadband as people are using broadband for connecting through video conferencing and using payment through applications like unified payment interface. The proliferation of mobile and broadband had led to an increase in the number of towers. A very significant number of towers are in rural and hilly areas where the grid power supply is not a very stable level itself, thus reducing not only power requirement but also the need for air conditioning. Further, 5G technology will allow flexible use of spectrum, which is an essential element for wireless communication, which in turn will have a direct impact on energy consumption. Steps to reduce adverse effects of the telecom sector on the overall ecosystem: reducing energy consumption of electronics, designing eco friendly electronics, buildings, and consumables, and effective network planning with the overall aim to reduce the power requirement. Introducing smart shutdown techniques using artificial intelligence across multiple sites and radio networks to reduce power consumption. Use of single radio access network platforms in which a single base station supports 20, 30, 40, and 50 technologies, thus replacing multiple pieces of equipment and reducing total power consumption. Migrating towards renewable sources of energy to mitigate the effects of global warming, telecom towers consume 65% to 70% of energy from the operations of telecom networks. In order to reduce the impact of on the environment and ecology due to the energy needs of telecom equipment, there is an urgent need to move to renewable sources of energy for the telecom towers, that is green telecom towers for energy saving. Fuel cells are a promising technology for use as a source of heat and electricity. A fuel cell combines hydrogen and oxygen to produce electricity, heat, and water. The significant barriers to the implementation of renewable energy: expensive renewable energy technology, which results in higher capital costs compared to conventional energy supplies. Installation of RE technologies are costlier and time consuming. They also need support for relatively longer periods before reaching profitability. Poor consumer awareness regarding emerging technologies. Legal, financial, and organizational barriers need to be overcome in order to implement RE technologies and develop markets in India. To conclude, with the proliferation of broadband and mobile devices, there has been significant growth in the telecom towers and associated electronics at the base stations. The policymakers must focus on adopting the latest technologies to reduce the power requirement and move towards alternative sources of energy that are renewable and which in turn reduce the greenhouse gases and carbon emissions, thus help in maintaining the ecological balance.